Oh, we're recording down there. We're not recording up there. Oh, we are recording up there.
Hi, we did it again, Chris.
You know what I like about our podcast?
What?
It doesn't have a proper intro.
It has like an intro video bit.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. But it hasn't got a... Like, you know when you listen to some podcasts and they go, "Hi, and welcome to this podcast with me and me. I'm Thingy, and this is Thingy."
I'm not Thingy, I'm Julian, and you're Chris John Newman.
Oh, God. Yeah, like every week. I guess that's our only intro thingy that we have.
Yes, it is, boy. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just going to make reference to the fact that if you can hear like traffic and ambient sounds in the background, that's because it's the height of summer in London and we don't want to close the window in the other room.
And we've been living here for too long now to...
And we don't want to we sacrificed enough by closing this window.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So I don't want to do too much.
I really like your pop shoe this week, Chris.
Me too, man. I mean, it's good. I can see myself.
A little
People
bit.
can see me.
It's not like seeing you is a good thing, though.
I beg to differ.
Okay. So...
We have a few subjects this week.
Yeah, we're gonna let me lay it out for you guys. We're gonna start with something, and then we're gonna go to something else, and then we're gonna go to something else, and then we're gonna end it.
That's pretty much how the show's going to go.
So it's a multiple.
The thing is, now you're going to have to watch or listen to know where we're going to go with this now.
Oh yeah. So we're not just gonna ramble about ourselves for 40 minutes this time.
This time. But we are going to ramble about ourselves for 5 minutes at least.
Yeah. So we're still looking for a drummer. Fuck all drummers. First of all.
Yeah. So we did try out a drummer. It went well. And then the next day it didn't go well.
Yeah.
Oh, no. 2 days later it didn't go well.
Yeah. It's just like when I have sex.
Yeah. Exactly like that. So we're still looking.
Yeah.
And we're still writing the record. We've had a few weeks where we haven't written anything, but I think we just haven't had the time to, right?
Yeah.
And we've both been really busy.
We did write something really nice today, though. That's probably the weirdest thing that we wrote together ever.
Yeah.
And-
And I'm glad we didn't write anything away from each other, because I think everything so far has been written together.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense to continue to do it like that until...
No, I'm gonna do the rest. I'm gonna do the rest by
All right,
myself.
well, that can be your solo EP, you little bitch.
And after Chris is gone to America, I'm gonna re-record his basses.
My basses.
Your basses.
Here come the police to come get your ass for stealing my basses.
Oh no. So yeah,
Jesus, where's that car in the fucking living room?
we're still looking for a drummer. We today decided that we are gonna go ahead and record the album with or without a drummer. And by saying without a drummer, we have a drummer that can record for us. But if you want to have the chance to be the one to write this record and not have to learn parts from another guy that plays much better than you, this is the time to join the band.
Honestly, this is the easiest time to join the band.
Yeah.
Because you get to write everything that's on this record. In about 3 months' time, all the drum parts will be written by a really good drummer.
Yeah.
So that's up to you.
Let me just check something, Chris. I'm gonna stand up. This is unusual for a podcast.
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
Oh, this is breaking records for this podcast.
Can you feel me, guys?
This is the first time ever that someone has stood up in this podcast.
So close to you guys. Yeah.
Chances are we're going to cut this.
I'm not gonna cut anything. I don't have time. I have a gerb.
A gerb.
I have a gerb that's getting stolen by all these foreigners here. Okay, next. Let's not talk so much about the band this
what are
week.
we starting with?
We don't have much to say, really.
No, as it pertains to that, no.
But if you're a drummer, fuck you, and please call us.
Yeah, fuck you, but join us, please.
So next part, what do you wanna tackle
Hey,
next?
you go for it, man.
I go for it.
Yeah.
Should we go for the funny bit or for this?
Let's start funny. No, let's start factual with the thing, the song, right? And then we'll go serious on your asses. And then we'll go funny at the end, lighten the tone a little.
So what we're gonna talk about today is the 5 albums that changed our lives.
Yeah. And this is really difficult for me and not so difficult for you.
No.
So are we gonna go one by one, or should we just do five?
Yeah,
then
let's do
five?
one each.
All right, but this is in no order, right?
No order.
Okay, then you go first.
Well, the first album that changed my life was Americana by The Offspring.
It's a good album.
No,
Offspring's not a band that I've ever gotten into.
Yeah, I know. Chris doesn't like
I don't.
it that
I don't.
much.
Like, I don't like the.
Offspring,
Maybe I don't like them.
Offspring was huge in Brazil. And when I was
Everything's big in Brazil.
like... Oh, yeah, even our...
You guys.
Our feet, man!
Oh,
Look at the
yeah.
size of this thing!
It's disgusting. No, I was. You know what? It's funny. If you go to a YouTube video, a live YouTube video of any band, the first comment is, "Oh, please come to Brazil, please. We've never seen you here before."
Because nobody used to come
It's
to
there
Brazil.
and Colombia. Those guys just want it so bad.
Yeah, nobody used to come to Brazil, but then it got really like you guys started struggling with the recording industry, and you noticed that there's loads of money there, and people just go to any gig. So people started going to Brazil.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Offspring, I was in the 4th grade, and there was a little. It wasn't in Christmas. That's why it's the same game, but it was a game called My Secret Friend, which is basically Secret Santa, not on Christmas.
That sounds like something like your teacher came up with just so he could touch you.
Oh yeah. Good memories from Mr. Bruno.
Mr. Bruno. Sounds like that kind of guy.
But so I got that album as a present, and I listened to it, and it was the only record I have for like 5 months until
Fourth
like
grade. How old were you?
for 5th grade. I was like 11.
No, I don't know how that works.
I was like 11.
So in the UK, if I was 11, I was in year 7.
Holy shit. Yeah,
I don't
weird.
know what that means.
But yeah, anyway, so I only listened to that album for ages, and then I finally managed to get some more cash and buy another one. But that album changed me from normal rock to punk rock, I think. And I used to listen to a lot of Lion King as well, so that kind of pushed me away.
Technically, now that you said that, that was like your introduction to like heavier music. I'm gonna add this in real quick.
Oh, there he goes.
But so basically, when I was about 8 or 9 years old, when I first started watching professional wrestling, I got so by the WWE, or at the time WWF, they used to bring out these records every couple of years or every year called WWF Volume whatever, and I got WWF Volume 4.
Okay.
And then this is like the tail end of the 90s, so 98, 99. And a lot of the themes at that kind of era were heavier rock music, metal, and
I can
everything.
imagine.
So that was honestly, one of my first ever introductions to heavier music. It was the first track on that record was Chris Jericho. And I blew my fucking mind because it was like this heavier style of music that I've never heard before.
Yeah.
But I'm going to skip away from that, and I listened to a whole bunch of different things after that. But the first record that really... Well, no, the record that really got to me and, like, I loved was the first... Sorry, the untitled Blink-182 record.
Okay.
Because it's... Obviously, I was into Blink before that, and I loved their records. And I loved Enema of the State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket and everything like that. But this record was something that... It had a bit of everything that I enjoyed in music. It had pop punk and it had punk rock, but it had...
Yeah.
It was super experimental. And that's something that, when it comes to writing music, that's the kind of avenue I've always liked to go down. So you've got this style of genre of music that you want to go to, but then you take things from loads of different places.
Yeah.
And I thank that record for me having such an eclectic taste in music, I think, maybe.
I think I have that record as well on my list, so let me quickly talk about it, okay? Yeah, it's the same thing for me. I think that record, I like it so much because, of course, I liked Blink before and I was a punk rock kid, but that record was the one that was like, made me realize that a band didn't necessarily had to, like, stay in a niche. And it's still to this day, it's really hard to put that record into a style of music or something. There's nothing else that sounds like that. And even Blink couldn't repeat what they did on that record ever.
I mean,
They did good things after.
Yeah, I mean, it's true because you got things like Feeling This and Go and tracks like that are just straight up, I'd call them pop punk.
Yeah.
But then you got Obvious and Anesthesia and all of this, and
Yeah.
they're like really out there tracks. So it's like, yeah, that's why I love that fucking record, man.
And to highlight a song for me, I think Violence is my favorite song, just because the line, like, Violence, you have me forever and ever, is like so, it was so true to my situation with girls at that time. And then it really got into me. That,
I think
track.
Stockholm Syndrome was my favorite track on that record.
Oh, such a victim, aren't you?
I mean, but what's the track that came before that? No, it was
Down.
Stockholm Syndrome, then the interlude.
Interlude. Then there was the Mark's grandma letter.
Yeah,
But there was Down somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I don't know.
And we say that you like the record, we don't even know.
I'm
the
not gonna
order of it.
memorize shit by anyone
All right, so
else.
that was
but
your
me.
number 2, right?
Yeah.
But not in order,
Not
just
in
your
order.
second one.
Yeah.
All right, my next one's Suffer by Bad Religion.
Ooh.
Fucking, if you're a punk rock kid and you grew up listening to punk rock, you need to like this record. I think that's as simple as that. I can't even tell last time I actually listened to this record fully is a very long time ago, but it's still a record that I could put on right now and know all the words, and it's something that it just ingrained within me. I think with that record, it's one of it's just one of the most popular, best punk rock albums of all time. And if you're making a top 10 list of punk rock records, that should be in it.
Yeah, that's a good record.
Simple as that.
For sure. Yeah, Bad Religion was one of my favorite bands, but I didn't put any of their albums in here. Just because I listened to all of them. And Bad Religion has one thing, that they're very consistent with their sound, so it's hard to separate the albums in my head.
Yeah, I think Suffer's so early that you can separate that now from the rest because it's just so raw punk rock. They got a little bit more melodic as they got further in their careers, and Greg Graffin found country music, and that influenced them too.
Yeah, that's true.
What's your next one, Julian?
Well, my next one is American Idiot by Green Day.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Although I was at the same time.
I think it's just a record that showed me. I like records that bands are not afraid to go outside their boxes. So, like, it's a record that Green Day is not purely punk rocking. They're trying to do whatever they feel like it. The songs are very complex and very simple at the same time. I don't know. It's just another record. Like, it's American Idiot is the Untitled, like the same kind of.
It is from the
album
same
for-
era, from the
yeah.
same and it's like Blink-182's equal in the music world.
Yeah.
Being Green Day.
And it's just a good record. Like, it's well written. It's probably the best produced rock record that I've ever listened to so far.
And the way it actually tells a story as
Yeah.
well. In Testament they made a fucking musical out of. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
me
like
too.
many times.
Really, I've seen it once, but it was really good. But it tells a really fucking good story, and the way songs flow from one to the other to the other to the other, it's amazing. And it's like normally things like that I find really pretentious, especially coming from a fucking punk rock band or a pop punk band. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like like when I heard about it initially, but it worked.
Yeah,
and
it did
it's
work.
something that shouldn't have worked, I think, but it did.
And it has some of the best ballads that Green Day has ever written. And it's just...
Yeah, Jesus of Suburbia is just... There's the cat.
My cat screaming, Suki! She does that, don't worry, guys. She talks a lot. Oh, she's got locked.
Oh, shit.
There
Oh,
she is.
we locked her in the bathroom.
Why did she was there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we've been recording for such a long time. She now decided, oh, wait, I'm locked in.
She was enjoying her time. Yeah. She hates being here on my lap. Say hello to the world. Say hello to the world, cat.
Oh, amazing.
So yeah, what's your next record?
Oh, my next record will be Milo Goes to College.
That's one I don't like that much.
So yeah, Julian's not too keen on Descendants. I I love the Descendants, one of my favorite bands. I didn't really get into them until quite late, to be honest with you. I think maybe 2008 or 9 was the first time I'd heard them before, but the first time I really sat down and listened to them properly. And Milo Goes to College was probably the first record I heard from them. But there's one that stuck with me, and Everything Sucks, and there's a lot of other records from them that I fucking love. But Milo Goes to College, again, is one of those albums that is like, get up there with Suffer. It should be in your top 10 if you're a diehard punk rock fan. Yeah, I mean, I just fucking love them, and they just released a record like a year or two ago, and they're just always kicking ass. They've been around since 1979.
That's a long
Been around for
time.
40 years next year. It'll be the 40th anniversary of the Descendants, and they're still putting on shows with incredible energy, even in their late 50s.
Yeah.
So
I can agree they're an amazing band. I just doesn't touch my heart. But my next album, it's gone. Oh, here it is. My next album is Fame by Lady Gaga.
I like that. I like that. I've got an unexpected one on my list.
But Fame by Lady Gaga was, I always liked pop music, like Britney Spears. Obviously, I was most of the time I was masturbating at the same time I was listening to it, because I was watching Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and all those girls sing and dance. I was just like, yeah, boy, these are really tight little girls right there.
Jesus Christ!
But
When you mean little girls, you actually mean little in size.
yeah, because I'm a big guy. But
Exactly.
I'm younger. Obviously, I'm younger than them. But so. But when I listened to Lady Gaga's album, was the first time that I was like, oh shit, I think I wanna try and do some pop tunes. And it was the first time that I actually stopped to think that I really liked those songs.
What year did that come out? 2007?
2008, 9. And it was just like something that I was like, oh, it's not like just for fun. These tracks are not just for when you're really drunk at a club. These tracks are also quite well done. And I started appreciating the pop.
I like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Out of a lot of pop singers these days, I find that she's got some kind of genuine aspect to her.
Yeah.
And it's not just because she did a track with, played live with Metallica at the Grammys, which got ruined, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I think she's like a genuine person. And it's almost, I feel like, why the media nowadays seem to ignore her.
Yeah.
Because she's not trying to play up to them.
Yeah. She's not trying to be the skinny, sexy, random girl.
Yeah. She's
just
she's still a random girl because she's different from everyone else.
Yeah.
But I think the media are choosing to just ignore her, even though she's producing some really good stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my. No, there's one more. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
You go.
So my number 4 is. So I guess you got 2 more, right?
One more.
Oh, you got 1 more. Yeah, you went first. My number 4 is History by Michael Jackson.
Ooh.
Or depends which one, History or His Story.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's a 2-disc record. So the first disc is basically a greatest hits disc.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then the second disc is the new record. And this was my earliest memory of listening to music. This came out in 1995. I was 6 years old. I've still got the original. I don't know whose it was in my house. It might have been my sister's. It might have been my parents. I don't know who actually originally it was, but I now own that. It's fucked. It's cracked, but the discs still work. And yeah, I mean, obviously the first disc is just classic Michael Jackson, but in the second disc he had tracks like Stranger in Moscow, which is a fucking incredible fucking song, and Scream and everything like that. So, and yeah, I love Michael Jackson. He is just, again, undoubtedly one of the greatest musical artists of all time.
Yeah, I do love Michael Jackson as well. There's just not one record that stands out to me.
Yeah,
but,
I think that one just has a sentimental value to me because it's one of the first records I ever listened to.
Yeah.
So again, but it's funny really because I think with Michael Jackson, I don't think he has. This is quite a controversial thing to say. I don't think he has a solid record.
Yeah.
I think he has loads of really good songs, but there isn't a single like. I guess you could say
Thriller, yeah.
Thriller or Bad. They're good records, but like if you were to sit someone down, unless you were a diehard Michael Jackson fan, you couldn't sit them down and name every track on the record.
Yeah.
Bad was the good track from Bad. Thriller was the good track from Thriller. But you know, I think he's got a lot of really good fucking songs.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one just sticks out to me.
Yeah. No. Yeah, Michael Jackson was great. My last record is I don't have to look at my phone because I remember because it's the last record that I've actually liked, like the last full record that I actually
Mine's kind of like that too, actually.
So this one is called I gotta look for the name actually. It's by an artist called Kimbra.
Kimbra. Okay, I'm lost.
And she's from New Zealand. I'm looking at her Google right now. And
You're actually looking at her Spotify.
now it's her Spotify. It's called Primal Heart.
Okay.
So Primal Heart by Kimbra is a really good pop record. And it's just a record that made me realize I like some things that I didn't know that I liked. Like minimal pop and some weird forms of looping and effects that she uses, and just like the way that she sings is quite unconventional, and it just made me open my mind to like more jazzy chords.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, so it changed my life. And also
When did that come out? Recently?
Yeah, like 2 months ago.
Oh wow, really recently.
And her videos are really cool. So
my number 5 is again probably from an artist. I think you know who it is because I've shown you him, but an artist that most people won't know who the fuck it is. His name's Spose.
oh yeah,
A rapper from Wells, Maine, in the US. He's released a lot of records. He started his career maybe in 2007. He released a track in like 2009 called "I'm Awesome," which I think a lot of people would know because it's got like millions of views on YouTube. And then people presume, it's funny actually, because if you go to the comment section of that video, because it's on Spo's Vivo, because he was signed by Sony, and they basically he did write a song called Pop Song about this, where they basically wanted him
I
to.
think you showed me that one.
They wanted him to write like everyone else, and so he literally just ditched all the money, all the fame, and the record deal that they were making a record for him to release to the masses. And it's funny because you go to the comment section of the Spose Vivo page, which has one video on it, "I'm Awesome," and there's people commenting there like, "Oh man, I wish he still made music." And he since 2009, the guy, I think off the top of my head, has released 5 to 6 albums. He released, and the things this guy's done, before I get to the record itself, he released, he did an entire 13-track album in 24 hours. And
I always wanted to try that with a punk rock
it's
record.
fucking decent. He did not. I mean, it's by himself. It's released under his name. But it was with a lot of other musicians to do the beats and stuff. He uses actual instruments. By the way, he's a rapper. He's a hip hop artist.
Yeah,
But he uses instruments in his songs and a lot of just different elements from loads of different stuff. He grew up listening to bands like Weezer and things like that, and Smashing Pumpkins. So he has a lot of like alternative music influences within his music.
Yeah.
He released an album where he released an app where you play this game as him, and as you unlock, there's like 12 levels, and every time you do a level you unlock a song that you can listen to, which is fucking genius. And that's the kind of thing that Kanye West comes up with in like 2 years from now and claims that it was his idea. He's just always kind of pushing the envelope and doing really different things. And he released a record last year called "Good Luck With Your Life," and he's released a lot of records, and I've listened to every single one of his records, and I own every single one of his records. I went to his first ever show in London last year and actually got to meet the guy, and it's great when you meet people like that and they're actually nice people.
Yeah.
And but that record was the 24-hour one was his most recent, but that's his most recent like proper full length album, and it's just start to finish a fucking amazing hip hop track. Hip hop album, some amazing just genuine music on there. He's got and some of the best lyrics I've ever heard, and best like the like playing with words I've ever heard. The guy can. You listen to a song like 10 times over, and it's like the 10th time through that you hear something, and it's like, oh my god, he's referencing this. He has a line actually. He said, I can't remember the full thing, but he says, "I don't blink at little children. What's my age again?" And it's like, wait, that's a Blink reference.
Yep.
And it's just like, it's just like, because he's saying it so quickly, you don't realize, and then you're listening to it 10 times through, and you're like, oh fuck, he just referenced that. And he's so good at that kind of shit. So I recommend Spose as an overall, but I recommend his album from last year, Good Luck With Your Life. And you know what's fucking great? Good Luck With Your Life kind of lays into our next subject.
My life.
Yeah.
Well, guys, so now it is very hard for me, but let's get a little bit
Time to
serious.
dim the lights.
Dim the lights. Nope.
Just us two.
Yeah.
And if your cat could dim the lights, well, fuck.
That would be amazing. But so yeah, this 1 week from now, basically, it's gonna be my birthday, and not only that, I've been alone in my house for the past week because my better half, as people say it, she's away working. She's away in a very sad city as well, poor girl. But I don't want to mention the city because I don't want to offend them.
Yeah, no, I've been there. And unless you're going there for an event, it is a really shitty place.
Let's not mention it, but
Yeah.
she's away, and I was alone. And I am a person that's very good at being alone. Like, I'm very good at it. There was one time in my life that I spent a month without talking to anyone because Cleo was away as well, and she was, I think, in Brazil or somewhere it wasn't like Skype times or anything. It was like a time that wasn't so easy to speak to each other online. The internet in Brazil was shit as well, and she was working a lot. So I besides the little Skype sessions with Cleo, I didn't talk to anyone for 1 month, and I was fine. And it was just every time now that she travels and I'm alone at home, I have this weird underlying feeling every time that I was meant to be alone. It is weird to say it, but I have this, it's not a fear, because there's people that I'm afraid of being alone, and I'm not afraid of being alone. I'm very good at it. But I have this sensation under my skin that is like, fuck, man, I think I might end up like this someday. And I know that probably it's not gonna happen. I think it's very hard for Cleo and I to break up. I think it's not gonna happen, but I always have this sensation that overwhelms me, and then it just blocks my mind. And it's not, and I'm not talking alone about like not being with a girl or whatever. I'm talking alone like when you see in movies about the future of people not talking to each other and shit.
I think,
Yeah.
like,
Most of my songs are about that, guy. So yeah.
like me and Jody have spoken about this before. If you think about it, you know, right, so both me and you now are in very long-term relationships.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, I think it's quite slim that we'll split up. And some people might think, oh, you shouldn't say that because
If it happens.
whatever. But I think knowing our personalities and knowing Cleo's and Jody's personalities, I think we're pretty safe to say, right, that's not going to happen because we just know.
Yeah.
But so, say for example, there's one thing as well. Me and Jody are dead certain we're not going to have children.
Yeah.
And you and Cleo are exactly the same as us.
Yeah.
We're dead certain you're not going to have children.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you know, chances are one day, and it will suck, but you know, one of us
We'll be
from our you know, individual partnerships will be alone.
Yeah.
And we won't have kids to look after us.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
But it's that is life.
Yeah.
But I think all you're going through when it comes to now is just your body and your mind adjusting to the fact that there's no one around suddenly.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is for the mind, and I can attest, like, Yep. I can, definitely speak for this, but when you have time alone with yourself is one of the worst things I think that can happen to a person.
Yeah.
Unless you're completely fucking level-headed and sane,
Yeah.
which I am definitely not. Like, my mind goes all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
And, especially with, and I wasn't so bad, but then a couple of years ago, I lost my father. And then since then, if I'm ever by myself for a long period of time, I get fucked up
Yeah.
because I'm not necessarily thinking about my dad. I'm just I get thinking about all sorts of different things. And you start to worry about what the fuck you're doing with your life.
Yeah. I think we're very similar. Although I think the things we think about and how we go about our thoughts is different. We're very similar in the way that we are naturally. I think every person has a main feeling, a main emotion that rules them. And of course, you can deviate from that with experience and just growing up and shit. But it's a fact that when I'm out of control, I go 100% into sadness. It's just like, and negativity. There's people that like, I don't know how. It's so difficult for me to understand. But there's people that just wake up and they're in a positive mind and they're just, man, I'm gonna tackle this day. It's gonna be awesome. For me, there's always the step of overcoming the negativity and the sadness, and then I get into it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I struggled. There's a big thing in punk rock music. PMA. Got to keep that PMA, positive mental attitude. I think it's promoted badly in the sense that I think people think PMA. I mean, I have to be positive all the time.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. People that practice PMA, and put that in quotes, they're not positive all the time. It's just that when shitty things do happen, you can keep a positive outlook after that. And I've definitely, in the last 6 months, I've definitely gotten better at approaching my own thoughts and how I tackle them. And sometimes it's okay to just, I think if you try and force yourself and stop thinking them, or you try and talk yourself out of things, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think you should just listen to whatever your mind's trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Then you just get on with things.
Yeah.
And eventually you just forget about all that shit and
Yeah.
what your mind's trying to tell you.
My approach is the same. I don't try to fake happiness I don't try to fake it till I make it, basically. Because I see people that do it, and some people are successful. I don't know how far they can get with that that technique. I don't know, that way of thinking. But some people do fake it till they make it, and they pretend happiness until they are happy. I don't know.
That's tough. I mean, I don't think I'm faking my when I'm laughing or I'm smiling. It probably is genuine. I'm not scared to tell people that I'm in a shit mood, or if I'm kind of like that. It depends who I'm around. There's a few people that it's hard to fucking explain. I have certain people that I can just be completely 100% myself around, and there we go. It's people that I can be 100% myself around, but for the most part, around most people, I don't try and put on an act. So if I'm at work or I'm
that's very important.
with other people, I used to just I'm in a shit mood, I'm in a shitty place, or I've got a lot on my mind, but then I'd be like, oh, but these people are around. Let's pretend I'm jolly old Chris. But now, if I get invited out to somewhere and I'm in a really shitty mood, I don't feel like going out, I'm not going out.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a fucking, unsociable prick, but I'm just I need some time to myself. I'm not going to please other people over myself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And if I'm out with people and rather with other people, if I feel inside myself and I just want to be quiet, I'll be quiet. And if someone wants to approach me and ask me, "Are you okay?" then I'll be kind of honest with them, depending on who it is. But I think it's good to just be honest with yourself. And if you are down, then it's okay to be fucking down.
Yeah.
And if you're happy, then be happy. But like, don't think you have to be, you know, happy all the time. It's
Yeah.
just being a human fucking being, basically.
Yeah, I've just been trying to slowly understand myself. It's hard. I think there can, especially now that it was around the time that we got back together as a band, but it's just a time where you gotta try to understand yourself and not hate yourself and just try to understand why you are like you are and grow, but without betraying your true personality or true way of being. I don't know how to say it, but and it's just what I've been trying to do is just really, really, really. When I'm sad, I try to. I don't try to be instantly happy. I try to figure out why I'm sad. I try to think, and I was telling Chris like that I was in a down mood these days just because I've been thinking about all these things. I've been trying to understand, but it doesn't mean that my life is going very well. Everything's fine, but I'm a little bit more blue just because I've been going through a lot of thoughts and trying to organize what I'm feeling. Because I felt something on Tuesday that I don't quite know what it is yet.
What does that even mean?
I felt something that I'm trying to figure out right now, and I can't even explain it. I hopefully some other people relate to this. If the 10 people that watch our podcast, if there's one person that kind of relates to this, I felt something. I got instantly sad. I lost a day of doing nothing, and I tried the whole day to figure out why. And I don't know if it's chemical. I don't know if it's psychological. I don't know what it was. It wasn't like dangerous, but
Did you just wake up and you just in a sentence, in a few words, you felt like shit?
no.
But did you have just overbearing feeling over your head all day that just something wasn't quite right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think that's as scary as you're thinking, because I think I've definitely been there before. I mean, right, so we again, you said we're similar. Your thing seems to me more sadness. Mine's more anxiety.
Yeah.
And well, you know, I've gotten a lot better at it, but I get quite anxious. I get panicky and all sorts of things like that. I used to very bad. And I had this one period in my life where I felt like I wasn't in my body. And I know that sounds quite cliche, but I mean, this was intense. I really actually fucking mean I didn't feel like I was in my body.
Like you were watching yourself from outside.
And it was terrifying. And I had it for about a month where I didn't even feel like, and it's so hard to describe because I'm not there now. And do you know what, to be honest with you, even when that was happening at the present time, I remember one time I walked down the street with Jodie near my house, and I was trying to explain to her so badly what exactly was going through my head. I couldn't. I just knew that I wasn't in myself. Something wasn't right, and so I was looking at myself from the outside point of view, and sometimes that feeling becomes so overwhelming that I'd have a panic attack because it would confuse the shit out of me. And I had some of the worst panic attacks of my life. This was like March last year, so 2017. So it definitely had something to do with my dad because it was like 6 months afterwards.
Yeah.
But like, it was intense, man. But I've had days like that where I've woken up and I'm just something that ain't sitting well. And I don't feel, nothing just doesn't feel right. And there's nothing that's happened like that's made me feel that way. It's just that I've woken up and it just isn't my day.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I think that is just, again, being a human. You wake up and you feel sometimes you just don't feel like today's the right day to
Yeah.
just be for you to be you, and you need to take a day out. And if you can, you need to take a day out.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that people rest and take a day out. No matter what your job is, what your hobby is, or what you do with your life, I think if some days you need to spend time on you, even if that is doing nothing but sitting down watching TV or playing computer games. I think you need to do it.
Yeah.
But I think in this day and age, be it no matter who you are or whatever, I think people worry too much about everything.
Yeah.
And I read a book recently. I knew that I'd plug this eventually. I read a book called I Want to Be Well, and it's written by Miguel Chen, who's the bassist from Teenage Bottle Rocket. And he wrote this. He's like a really like spiritual guy, and he's like a 500-hour yogi. He teaches yoga and stuff in Wyoming in America. And I'm not really into. I've done some yoga and I've done some meditation and stuff myself, and I feel like it has helped me cool myself down, calm myself down. I think, I don't know, maybe do I seem a more positive and happier person compared to maybe when we were together in 2013?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I am. And so, the spiritual side of the thing, it's not something I tap it. I don't really, it's not something, and when I mean spiritual, I don't mean religious. I just mean just thinking outside.
Mystical,
yeah, thinking outside of yourself and things like that. But in this book, he's a punk rocker, so he just talks about it in a way I would talk about it if I was to write a book about it. And he does. It's one of the first chapters, and he speaks about like you don't actually have control over anything you do. Nothing. Even if you're recording a song on your computer could just cut out in the next 2 seconds, and that's just out of your control. And basically, he just says the only thing that you can control is literally what's immediately happening right now. So he puts in the like these two kind of, off the top of my head, just like you could be on the way to you've been called into work by your boss and you don't know why. And he could be giving you a rise or he could be firing you, but you don't know. So until you get there, that's when you find out.
Yeah.
But until then, what's the point?
Yeah.
Live in the right now. You get there, you get a rise, sweet. Then there's nothing to worry about. You get there and you get fired, then that's a problem you need to sort out there and then. And, if there's stuff going wrong in your life, if whatever it may be, when it's there and it's present and it's in your face, that's when you should deal with it. But when you're not around it, try and take your mind out of it. And it's just focus on what's going on right now, like right now in this room, in this house, in yourself. Just focus on that. And then I know everyone walking around every single day has a problem or a lot of problems, loads of big problems or loads of small problems, but you just got to kind of like tackle them as they come. And when you get home at night after work and there's not much else you can do about those problems, then don't worry about them. If you can't attack them there and then, there's no point worrying about them.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard thing to achieve, but it's something I've definitely taken on board big time. And since I read the book about 6 months ago, my anxiety has like crumbled like tenfold. I worry about things so much less than I used to. I just kind of worry about the here and now.
Yeah.
I make plans for the future, like I was coming here today, and I worry about that when I get here.
Yeah.
And that's it. If you worry about too much stuff, you'll fuck yourself up.
Yeah. It is hard though. The feeling that you describe of being outside your body is funny that you describe it like that, because the way that I would describe mine is the opposite. Because the feeling that I have is that I'm going inside, and like my vision starts like being tunneled.
It's the complete opposite, because I've had these panic attacks where they come out of the blue like that.
Yeah.
And I remember I was sitting there watching the Vikings with Jodie, and we were doing nothing but just sitting there watching a DVD. And I was sitting back, slouched on the sofa, and I darted out of the chair, stood up, and the entire room just went outwards, rushed away from me. And I was standing up, and then I just crumbled down onto the floor into like the fetal position, like on my butt, on and I was just like, it was fucked up. Yeah, so it was just so sudden. It was so out of the blue, but everything felt like it just whooshed away from me like that. And where it sounds like you're just having the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And maybe that's...
I think all my life I've put all my feelings inside, and I'm like a bomb. You've seen that firsthand. I'm like a bomb.
This is true.
Yeah, that's waiting to burst, and I feel like it's getting to a point that I'm gonna have to make a big decision in my life, and I don't know why. I'm also not a mystical person, but I have feelings, and most of the times I'm right about it. But you don't have to worry. You're okay.
Not again.
But
I think...
Cleo, you're okay as well. Don't worry. Okay, Suki, you're all right.
I think this is the deal.
I'm not gonna murder you.
If you
Suki.
think about it, and I'm gonna get kind of like... I'm gonna kind of get a bit theoretical here.
Yeah.
Philosophical. Think about this for a second. So I have these panics, and I feel like everything goes whoosh outwards that way, right? But that's because all my problems are from the outside world. My dad passing away and other stuff going on in my private life that was so big at the time was all coming from outwards at me. And I was in such a fucking world that it made me just kind of escape myself because I didn't want to have to go through all this shit because it was too intense. Your stuff is more in here.
Yeah.
It's all in your head. All your problems are things you're making up yourself, I think. You're overthinking a lot of things, and you're making yourself think about them a lot. Since they're all in here, that makes you feel like everything is going like this instead.
Yeah.
And coming inwards to yourself.
It's weird.
So maybe that has something to do with it. The mind is a fucked up little place. It really, really is.
But I'll figure you out, you fucking bitch. And you're gonna see what I'll become.
But that life changing. You say something you want to change something soon, or something.
There will
has
be
to happen.
something, yeah.
But it's difficult. You never know what that could be.
Yep.
And as I said, something could happen tomorrow.
We'll see.
You never know.
Okay, enough for the talk, cause I feel I still have to figure out more of when I figure out, I'll tell you guys. I'm sure I will. But let's move to the next section and end up on a lighter note. Okay?
Yeah, this is our last little segment. So you guys might have seen a thing on the internet.
And the World Wide Web.
Yeah. Where someone said that to me recently. Saying World Wide Web is easier and quicker than saying www.
www.worldwideweb. Yeah.
Crazy, right? Anyway.
Doesn't make sense though.
It's true. If you just go to worldwideweb.google, so
Google.com, guys. Why don't we just let it go? There's not the World Wide Web anymore. There's no www.
No, no one does that anymore, do they?
Nobody even types anymore.
No, except for maybe like people over 60.
Yeah, I still imagine people over 60 on a keyboard, like trying to open emails.
And they type with both their index fingers, but no others.
And they lower their glasses. I like old people. I barely can wait till I'm old and I can be naked on the beach.
So, where you basically, I'm going to be shit at this, but you basically tell really bad jokes to each other and try and make each other laugh.
Yeah.
So this is where it comes into the post-edit that we're going to get two little things on the screen here that are going to have scores.
Oh, I'm going to have to edit now, guys.
Yeah,
Look at him directing my show.
So if I laugh, you get a point.
Yeah.
If you laugh, I get a point.
Okay.
And we're going to tell really shit jokes to each other.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, I'm going to lose.
I don't know.
Because I'm already smiling. So...
I don't know. Okay.
So this is why you should just go first.
Game face.
Yeah.
Smiling
doesn't count though.
I'm already laughing though. Let me focus. Fuck, man, I'm not gonna be able to do this. Okay. How did Burger King get Dairy Queen pregnant?
How?
He forgot to wrap his Whopper. We're not good at this.
Oh god, why did you start with that?
Oh man.
Okay.
Okay.
Mine not very, I think you've got really good ones, man.
I got dirty ones.
Oh no, that's not fair. All right. A ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer. The bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here."
No.
No, it's close.
No.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay.
How is a woman like a road?
What?
How is a woman
Yeah.
like a road?
How?
They both have manholes.
Shit, man. It's just too difficult. You've got really fucking good ones, man.
Yeah, I made my research, man.
All right. I haven't read mine yet, so these could be really
I haven't
shit.
read mine as well.
Uh,
I just searched for dirty ones. Okay, I'm gonna focus, man.
Whenever the cashier at the grocery store asks my dad if he would like milk in a bag, he replies, "No, just leave it in the carton."
I was laughing already on the milk in a bag. You can't do a dad joke.
I think I got a laugh there.
Okay,
I
yeah.
heard something.
Let me see. I'm gonna skip some because they're directed at women, clearly. Oh, that's too fucked up. What should you do if you come across an elephant?
What?
Apologize and wipe it off. You don't understand it, do you?
Not really.
Me neither.
Dad, make me a sandwich. Poof, you're a sandwich.
Okay.
I wish we got better ones.
What is the difference between your job and a dead prostitute?
What?
Your job still sucks. Ooh, look at that. Okay.
How do you do the Kleenex dance?
I don't know.
You know what Kleenex is, right?
Yeah.
You put a little boogie in it.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, I thought I had you there.
What do you call a cheap circumcision?
What's that?
A ripoff. Okay, we both got points on that one because I couldn't keep it straight.
A man walks into a bar. Ouch.
Okay. You can get that point, okay? What do priests and McDonald's have in common?
What's that?
They both stick their meat in 10-year-old buns.
That was fucking difficult.
Okay. Why did I get such dirty ones? I'm always the dirty person.
Friends are like bananas. If you peel their skin and eat them, they die.
It makes sense. What did one of the prostitute niece say to the other? Okay, English. What did one of the prostitute's niece say to the other?
What?
How come we spend so little time together? Okay, I don't appreciate that one. I think you should respect prostitutes more. Website. This is not cool. Yeah, there's a lot of weird ones.
I've got 99 problems. And one of them is that I count my problems instead of solving them. Man, you're good. You're really good at this.
I try to just phase out and not listen, but it's hard. Oh, man. Awkward silence. What do you do with a year's worth of used condom?
What?
Melt them into a tire and then call it a good year. That one's good.
Don't you hate it when you're reading a sentence and it doesn't end how you testicles? What the fuck? Okay. So, this is kind of creepy, But a track that we recorded earlier just started playing live right now.
That was Suki.
Oh, Suki stepped on the keyboard. Explains that.
Okay, go again.
Right.
Sorry.
Don't you hate it when you're reading a sentence and it doesn't end how you testicles? Yes!
That one's good, but the word testicles is very difficult. What do you get when you jingle a man's balls? You know the answer to that.
What?
A white Christmas. We both get points, man. Fuck that.
Fun fact. If humans stood in a single file line around the equator, most of them would drown.
It is a fact, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Okay. Okay, let's do my last one is gonna be a direct translation from a Brazilian joke, and
Okay.
I'm gonna see if you can understand it and appreciate
I've got
it.
one last one. And it's kind
Okay,
of shit.
do yours,
Okay.
and I'll do mine.
What's Batman's favorite fruit?
Robin.
Banana grapefruit.
That was good. That was good, Chris. Okay, now mine.
I'm sweating like a.
Yeah, it's
Something
pretty
else.
warm in here. London shouldn't be like this, guys. So, a boy walks in to the bathroom and his mother is naked. He points to her vagina and said, "Mom, what's that?" She says, "Oh, a man hit me there with an axe." The boy goes, "Right in the vagina, Mom?" Did you get it?
I kind of.
I always tell that joke because I heard it when I was really small and I thought it was...
She's got a really fucked up looking vagina.
No, it's just because he points to the vagina and asks, "What's that?" And she should have just answered like, "Oh, it's my vagina," because he knew what a vagina was.
Oh, right.
But she tried to mask it by saying, "Oh, somebody hit me with an axe."
Okay.
So like it's a rip.
Okay.
But then he goes, "Oh, right in the vagina, Mom."
Okay.
It's a weird one, but I thought it was hilarious when I was like 7. And I never forget. It's the only
Pretty
joke.
funny.
It's the only joke that I remember by heart. Okay, we come to the point again, guys, where we have to wrap it up. We are almost reaching the 1 hour mark.
That's probably the longest one we've ever done.
We're probably gonna edit because we have the most technical problems ever. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, fuck.
It's not gonna happen again. Remember, I'm a professional trained sex medic. And
Sex medic?
yeah.
That's new. I thought it was something else.
Are you having problems with sex? I can fix them with
Okay.
sex.
I know. I always said that I'm a professional feelings counselor, which is true because we actually did that today.
Yeah, Chris is a professional feelings counselor. I'm a professional sex counselor. Send me your sex questions and I can sex them up for you.
So, like,
Sex.
This episode, you had problems with your feelings, and I spoke to you. Maybe next time I'm going to have problems with my sex,
Oh.
and you can help me out with that.
Yeah, I can. But although I'm better at helping people that are looking for girls and or looking for boys and are sad but you have a good sex life, I believe.
Yeah.
See? So see you guys next time. As you seen the last podcast, I did found a Polly poster. If you saw the Polly poster, send me a shout out if you want to be my friend or my drummer. Call me. I need both. Bye.
I guess bye. Yeah.